afternoon again. Thank you and welcome. My name is Deputy Chief Hector Sinus, Chief of Staff. I'd like to take this moment to introduce a few honored guests. I'd like to start off, if you can hold your applause till I'm done with all the introductions, I'd appreciate it. I'd like to start off with the Honorable Mayor Ed Lee, President of the Police Commission, President Susie Loftus, Chief Greg Sir, Pastor Stacy Current, the command staff of the San Francisco Police Department, Deputy Chief Schmidt, Deputy Chief Michael Redmond, Deputy Chief Garrett Tom, Deputy Chief Mikael Ali, Commander Robert Moser, Commander Robert O'Sullivan, Commander Tony Chaplin, Commander Ann Mannix, and Commander Ken Wade Lee. Thank you, and thank you for being here. Distinguished guests, family members, and friends, I am Deputy Chief Hector Sinus, Chief of Staff to Chief of Police Greg Sir. On behalf of the San Francisco Police Department, I welcome you to our promotional ceremony where today we honor those members promoted between January 17th and September 26, 2015. Thank you, Lieutenant O'Connor. Would everyone please rise for the posting of the colors? Please remain standing for our national anthem, which will be presented by Ms. Chanel Silas.
sir. Ho!
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch, we're so gallantly gleaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you, Chanel. Beautiful voice. I don't think she needed a microphone. Now, if everyone would please be seated. Or, correction, stand, hold fast, please, while they present the colors, post the colors. Thank you, Color Guard. Please take your seats. I now invite Police Chaplain Pastor Stacy Current to say a few words.
Good afternoon. I woke up this morning with just an overwhelming sensation at the joy of being alive. So if you are happy to be alive today, I just invite you to turn to your neighbor real quick and just say, it's good to be alive. 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 Amen. It's good to be alive. And it's good to be here and to celebrate. So as we begin this time of celebration, of promotion, let us begin with a word of prayer. Let us pray together. Giver of life and sustaining God, we come to you with deep gratitudes in our hearts for all of the gifts that you give us each day. Family, loved ones, good friends, laughter, fulfilling work, and the gift of just being alive. Help us to receive these gifts with thanksgiving, and may our hearts always be stirred to remember all of the blessings we have received. But today we gather to recognize publicly these men and women who have the skills, knowledge, and wisdom for promotion. They will be entrusted with a higher position of responsibility and leadership, and we call them peacemakers. They have been shaped by their experiences, and they are prepared for this new task of leadership. So we ask your blessing on this day, that it be a day of joy and deep gratitude that we remember for years to come. May all God's children who are thankful for this day say amen, amen.
Thank you, Pastor Current. It is my pleasure now to introduce to you the Honorable Mayor of San Francisco, Mayor Edwin M. Lee.
Thank you, Deputy. And thank you, Pastor Current. Perhaps it might be appropriate for me to say it's also good to be politically alive. I'm overjoyed to join all of you, Chief Sir, Commissioner, also the command staff, and all the officers that are part of this wonderful department, family, friends, and especially those who are about to be promoted. I congratulate you as well. It's been a very interesting last 4.5 years for me, and I wanted to say that I'm here because I know a few of the individuals also, but I'm here as part of the support team for our police department, and as the 43rd mayor of this wonderful city. We have a lot of work that we have already done to have been a successful city as we are, but I will be the first one to say that our city can never be successful unless we are a safe city. And all of you are on the front lines of making our city safe. But I've also had the pleasure of being the mayor in 3 World Series celebrations, 1 NBA celebration, and America's Cup. And then on the eve of hosting the incredible, unique 50th Super Bowl for this wonderful city that we have. And I get to enjoy it with the finest police department that we have. So it is to say that under the leadership of this commission with the chief, we've had all these successes, and we will continue to be a successful city as long as we also are a safe city. And being a safe city, I also will be the first to say that it is not just on the shoulders of our police men and women. They will have their responsibilities. You will all have your responsibilities. You will do the great community policing that we've engaged in, but forthcoming, we have challenges. And we have challenges that we're going to meet in a very heartfelt way, because our citizens require us to be even more transparent. We will have the body cameras that will challenge us. But I think that the public will quickly find out there's more that happens on the street than what is sometimes reported. We will also have the challenge of having more success, a growing population, but I'm excited for every single community corridor that will see growth, that will have more officers on the beats, as well as officers working computer systems and the great technology that we have, as well as officers in all of our different areas of the city that will do great work, seen and unseen at the same time. And complementing the additional officers, and I had a chance with the chief the other day to welcome in the new recruits that are in our academies, and what wonderful recruits that we already have, that will have some 400 more additional police officers to join us, along with almost 200 firefighters and 50 paramedics, and including some additional 35 911 callers. This is an incredible time for our city. But we know that we cannot just depend on the officers that we hire. The public safety is a variety of things that we have to do as a city. So I want you to recognize that the city will do its part as well. And that means not just the hiring, but it also means a good environment for people to work in, a city that is successful, a city that looks to the future and says, let's resurrect that police cadet program that we hadn't had for over a decade. And let's make sure that the youth that we want, that they want to have a safe, successful city, also see potential careers that they can enjoy in the police department, or at least be exposed to that in a cadet program during the time they graduate from high school to when they might be eligible to go to the academy. We'll also have a city that invests in a program that reaches youth that are already in trouble, that reaches into their lives and suggests to them that we could interrupt the patterns of activities that might draw them into challenging lives and pull them into job-saving lives, lives that they can see career paths through, lives that they could see better education, that we are all increasing those education opportunities from kindergarten all the way to college. We'll be supporting our youth, all of our youth, and particularly emphasis on the youth that live in poverty-stricken communities and public housing. I get to do that as your 43rd mayor, is to take the life that I began in public housing and make sure that people have a way forward for themselves and their families through all of the programs that we have in education, and interrupt those patterns of activities that might suggest otherwise. We will support, through our families and children and youth programs and the passage of Prop C last year, an incredible investment in all of our families so that they will see an unprecedented investment for our youth from the family perspective. We are rebuilding every single one of our public housing sites so that they become integrated housing sites for all of the families that are there, as well as the new families that will be welcomed there. People will not live in isolated poverty housing under this administration. We will give them a chance to move forward. All of these other things we will do in concert with increasing our hiring of our police officers, but also in promoting. Promotion's a good day. Many of you got to admit that, because that means there's movement and there's hiring and there's activity in this department. The same can be said in our fire department, in our 911 and all of our dispatches, but also in our entire city workforce. So I want to say congratulations to all of you that will be receiving pins today. When I have the opportunity to pin the 3 that have had a chance to work with me, there might be some little screams of pinching. because I've got to pay them back for the rough rides they gave me when they were driving me. But outside of that, we've had an incredible time. And I want to say to you that I wish the incredible success on each and every one of your careers. We will see to it by continuing to be a successful city. And whether it's issues around your retirement or the environment that you work in or the people you get to work with, we will do our best and we'll be working in support, because ultimately it's the people that are on the first line that say, I will sacrifice for the other's safety. I want to say congratulations and a heartfelt thank you from your 43rd mayor to your success, to your safety, and the safety and success of you and your families. I congratulate all of you today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It is my honor to welcome the President of the Police Commission, President Susie Loftus.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief Sir, Mayor Lee, members of the command staff, Pastor Current, Director Hicks, family and friends of our honorees today. I'm going to ask a question. Can you raise your hand if your mom or dad is getting promoted today? Raise your hand if your mom or dad is getting promoted today. Yeah, that's what's up. 2 hands for somebody over there. This is a big deal. This is a big deal. Your dad's getting promoted. I know you. This is a big deal, guys. I'll just speak to the kids first. You know, this is a big ceremony. We've got the command staff up here. The mayor is here. But the reality is, in a really tough profession, your moms and dads have distinguished themselves as leaders in this department. And that's what we're here to recognize today. And one thing I know for sure from working in law enforcement as a prosecutor and observing these guys in my time at the police commission is that none of them did it alone. They did it with all of you, your family and your kids. And I know that you guys are really proud of them. And so this is a legal term, but it's a really big deal. Today is a really big deal. So obviously, congratulations to you guys. I want to say 2 things. I want to talk about what I think you've accomplished and what it means for the department. Today is, acknowledging the hard work that you've done, right? I mentioned that, I sat for the California bar exam, so I'm no stranger to tough tests. But from what I understand, the tests that you have to study for, prepare for, practice with your fellow officers, it's not a small matter. It's not just about the test. It's about signifying the choices you've made over your career. You're being chosen to be a leader of this department, and you put in a lot of work. Now, what you mean for the department. The mayor talked about the significant moment that I think we have, a number of things going on, but I want to say I think this ceremony is particularly special. We have the academy graduations. It's so exciting. They're excited. They're going to start their career. They can't wait to get their assignment. They can't wait to get out there. This is a different moment. This is a moment where you've done that piece. You've distinguished yourself as a leader. You're getting recognized. Maybe you waited a long time to get recognized, but this is your moment. And you get to make some choices and decisions about what the rest of your career you want it to look like. And we also get to see the retirement ceremonies, which are amazing too, because at the end of all of it, it's about 2 minutes where someone talks about what your career was. And what I'm always moved by is sometimes it's about the big cases. Sometimes a chief or a captain will rattle off like those big cases you made. But more often than not, the majority of that 2 minutes is spent talking about the kind of person you were, the kind of leader you were, how you treated your officers who worked for you, how you had their back, how you managed tough situations, and how you were a team player, and how you helped others in the department. And so I think now is the moment in your career. You've gotten the acknowledgement, you are a leader, and it's an important time. The mayor mentioned that we're going to get body cameras, and I just want to say one thing. I just want to leave this with all of you as leaders of this department. The success or failure of this program is going to depend largely on each of you. Your leadership with our officers to what is going to be the new normal of policing is what's going to make the program a success or a failure. There's many people who will be involved, commissioners, city officials, but at the end of the day, you as leaders of this department can embrace this technology, learn from it, help us make the policy better, and continue to lead the way for the San Francisco Police Department. So that is my humble request of you on this day that is really an acknowledgement of everything you've done. Help us embrace what the future is. Continue to be the incredible leaders that you've been. Congratulations on everything you've accomplished up until now, and thank you for being a leader at a critical time. It's a tall order, but you've all made it clear that you're up to it. Be safe.
Thank you, Commissioner Loftus. And now please welcome our Chief of Police, Gregory Sir.
So you've had to brave 2 speeches. You have to suffer through one more. And to echo what Commissioner Loftus said, today's a big day. So as you look around you and people are taking pictures, take a lot of pictures, because with the people in this room, nobody's going to be any younger. Nobody's going to have any more hair. Sadly, no matter how much you tell yourself, no one's going to be any thinner than you are today. And these kids aren't going to be any younger. So lots of pictures. It's a big deal. It's an honor to welcome each of you, department members, friends, and family, here to this promotional ceremony. We are honored today to have the newly re-elected mayor of San Francisco, Ed Lee. Our president of the Police Commission, Susie Loftus. Someone who never misses one of these ceremonies, and I am so honored that he is with us every single time. Former Chief of Police, and my old boss, Earl Sanders, right in the front row. And then we got a late arrival that missed her introduction, our OCC Director, Joyce Hicks. But most importantly, we are privileged to be here among the sworn officers being promoted today to the rank of Sergeant, Lieutenant, Commander, and Deputy Chief over the last year. The future leadership of the San Francisco Police Department, no small deal. In all endeavors, leadership is critical to success. But as we move into the latter part of this year, leadership has never been as critical to success for the San Francisco Police Department. We recently persevered through the toughest economic recession of our lifetime, and as we did so, we never said we can't do more with less. We did more with less, and we did it well here in San Francisco. Now, thanks to the mayor and with full support of the Board of Supervisors, we're in the middle of one of the biggest hiring pushes in the last 40 years, maybe ever. All these new cops are going to need leadership if they're going to be, as is required of a San Francisco police officer, to be the smartest, most thoughtful cops in the country. Leadership to guide this proud department through the challenges that lay before us. Across the country and here in some communities in San Francisco, folks are questioning our intentions and actions as we perform our daily duties, with a new video painting law enforcement in an unfavorable light seemingly every day. As FBI Director Comey spoke at a speech recently at Georgetown, we can turn up the music on the car radio and drive around these problems, or we can choose to have an open and honest discussion about what our relationship is today, what it should be, what it could be, and what it needs to be if we took more time to understand one another. Across this country and in this city, serious debates are taking place about how law enforcement personnel relate to communities we serve, about the appropriate use of force, about the real and perceived biases, both within and outside law enforcement, and we need to continue to have this conversation. Similar conversations are being had within every police department as well, or at least they should be. These conversations, as bumpy and uncomfortable as they can be, help us understand different perspectives, and they will help us better serve San Francisco. Of course, these are only conversations in the true sense of the word if we are only willing to talk, and not only willing to talk, but to listen to. Someone once said, if you want to be understood, you must first seek to understand. Truer words were never spoken as they apply to these difficult times. Again, quoting Director Comey, let's begin this difficult conversation by being honest enough to acknowledge that much of our law enforcement's history in this country has not been pretty. At many points in American history, most of it before the current members of the SFPD had been born, law enforcement enforced the status quo, a status quo that was often brutally unfair to disfavored groups. It was unfair to too many people. A century ago, the Irish, and my mom's half Irish, knew how well American society and the police viewed them as drunks, ruffians, as criminals. The paddy wagon is not named the paddy wagon because it has pads in it. Today, the status quo continues to be unfair to underserved communities of color. We need to be able to explain why we do what we do every time we do it. If we can't, then we need to rethink why we are doing what we are doing and do it differently so we can do it best. There is a renewed focus on a procedural justice, and we need to rededicate ourselves as best we can to not allow the implicit biases that exist in all of us, not just cops, in everybody, to interfere with our ability to do our job smartly, thoughtfully, fairly, and objectively. To be able to do this today, more than ever, will require strong leadership. It is with this in mind that all the men and women being promoted here today were selected as the department's leaders of tomorrow. Someone once said the best leaders have talent, character, functional intelligence, and an eagerness to do and demonstrate things the right way. Everyone on this stage, actually not on, well, they do on the stage, but they do there too, as evidenced by your performance on your respective exams and your experience, the ability to do this. I am grateful to your family and friends for the tremendous character each of you possess, and am impressed at how you cultivated your influences and experiences to be here today. Each of you has demonstrated the ability to think on your feet, and I'm confident that you will bring your new gifts to your new positions. Actually, you already have. I ask you to continue to demonstrate your eagerness to do things the right way, but more importantly, I challenge you to lead by example and doing the right thing every time, and serving as a reminder to our officers of why they became cops in the first place. We all became cops to help people, all people, especially children. As you sit here today, remember that to be successful as a leader, it cannot be about you. You're going to need other people, and you're going to need to let other people need you. No matter how smart you are, please be smart enough to know you are not smart enough. I've spoken a lot about leadership. What is leadership? So let's start what it isn't. And I spoke to all the promotees about this when we met at the academy. Management is not leadership. Management deals with routine, and not to take anything away from a good manager, and you're going to have to do a lot more management sometimes than leadership, but management is not leadership. There is no leadership necessary when managing routine. It is when order is distorted that leadership is required. And order in the world of law enforcement here in San Francisco and around this country is as distorted right now as maybe it has ever been, and it will take your leadership to get us to a better place. Because leaders don't just manage people, they mentor them. Leaders don't simply follow rules as they are without question. They question why specific rules even exist and set out to make better rules where needed. Leaders are always looking for their replacements as to begin developing the next generation of leadership. The future of the San Francisco Police Department is on you. It is not about what a leader can do, himself or herself. It's about what the people around you can accomplish with your vision, guidance, and support. It's sweating with your people, capturing the big one, making sure that when they get it, that they also get the credit. It is selling the worth and talents of others rather than touting those of your own. Remember the golden rule: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. This is a teaching of reciprocity echoed throughout the ages in every language and in every culture. The main objective of such a philosophy is to support all others, and you yourself will be supported, and everyone will reach their full potential and achieve their goals, and we'll be where we want to be. So back to today. You have much to be proud of, and we will get to freezing this moment in time in pictures shortly, which I'm sure comes as a relief that I'm almost finished. That was funny. Anyway, Nelson Mandela said that after climbing a great hill, one only finds that there are many more hills to climb. We may take a moment to rest and look back at the distance we have come, but only for a moment. We have responsibilities. We dare not linger. Our walk together is not ended. So when you come across a mountain that needs moving, know that it usually takes more than one person to move a mountain. There will be more times than not that this will be an uphill battle, and sometimes you will fail at the first attempt or many attempts thereafter. Stay at it. Find another way. Find another way. Find a path forward. There is always a path forward, and whether, as Emerson might have said, watching your effort, that you won the respect of intelligent people and the affection of children along the way, you left the world a bit better, and after all is said and done, that at least one life has breathed easier because of your effort, and those that you helped to get there, you will have been a good leader. My parents engraved, I get choked up at this part. My parents engraved the word believe on the first police star I was ever given. I have the same engraving on all my stars. Believe that you will make a difference in the lives of others, and you will. As always, I close with the words of President Teddy Roosevelt. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong stumble or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to those who are actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strive valiantly, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at worst, if we fail while daring greatly. God bless, congratulations, be safe.
Thank you, Chief. I now ask that you administer the oath of office to all law enforcement personnel present here today. Chief.
Relax, it's the same oath as always. I didn't add anything to it. Can I get everybody to please stand? I'm sorry, I meant of those that are going to take the oath. You know what, though? As a health thing, it's always good to stand every once in a while. So it's not supposed to be a comedy. Anyway, we have a tradition here in the San Francisco Police Department. If there's anybody else in the room that has ever taken an oath that would like to reaffirm that oath now, especially someone in law enforcement, whether sworn or non-sworn, I know we have some prosecutors here in the room. Feel free to stand at this time and take the oath with our promotees. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name. Do solemnly swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution, statute, and laws of the state of California, and the codes, policies, and charter of the city and county of San Francisco, against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I take this oath freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully execute the duties of the office upon which I am about to enter. So help me God. Congratulations.